Hello all, welcome to another session in this course. As part of this session, I am going to cover the next topic, that is nested objects in JavaScript. So let's get started. So with whatever the knowledge we got from the previous sessions, I already covered about the objects here and all the lot of other items here. Okay, with that knowledge, you can easily understand this topic in this session. So let's begin with nested objects in JavaScript. So for that, I will, launch this Visual Studio Code and let me delete all these files. They are no more required, which I have created in the previous sessions. Let me delete them. Yeah, let me create a new JavaScript file. I'll say nested hyphen objects dot js, and here I can write the code. So what exactly are nested objects? First of all, what exactly are nested objects? When you create objects inside objects, they are called as nested objects. Okay. What are nested objects? So inside one object, if you are creating another object, then that is called as nested objects. You already know what exactly are objects. And if you are creating an object and inside that object, if you are creating another object, that is called as, those are called as nested objects. So come back here and let me create an object, and inside that object, let me create another object. Okay. So either you can use let or const here and followed by the name of the object. Okay. Let's say user is the object is equal to, and generally objects will be like this. Okay, starting with curly brace, ending with curly brace. Inside this you can create multiple properties, right? Inside this object you can create multiple properties like this. So here I'll write down one property. Let's say name colon, I'll say Arun Notary. Okay, is the name. Now I'll create one more object. Let's say experience colon 19 years of experience, comma. Okay. Then next object. Okay. Let's keep on creating a lot of objects. Let's say here I'll create something like address. Okay. So till now these were like, some individual properties, but these are not objects. Okay. This is an object. Inside that object, these are some properties. Now what I'm going to create here is address colon. You have to say address colon, and here I'll start the curly brace, end the curly brace. This is an object which is created inside another object. If you're creating an object inside another object, that is this is called as nested objects, right? These are called as nested objects. In the address, I'll be writing like this. In the address, I'll be writing like this. So here, what will be there in the address? Uh, you know, street, street, colon. Okay. Let's say street is, let's say, let me write something. Okay. Yeah. Let's say this is a street. Then, you know, building. Okay. Then I'll write the pin code. Okay. I'm just writing something. That's fine. Now, put a comma here. And you can add any number of properties, and here the same simple thing here is you can add as many number of properties as you want, where one of the property inside this object is nothing but another object, guys. So object inside an object is called as a nested object, and you can continue, a lot of other stuff. Here I can say comma location or city is Hyderabad. Okay. And I can write more other details. I can write more other details, job, I mean, full-time trainer. Okay, so just write something. Okay, then any other things I can write here apart from this? I think these are fine. This is fine. So let's not make it more complex. So this much is better. Okay, so now, so if you are creating an object inside another object, that is called as a, along with this, an object can contain a function also. If you want to create a function, you can also create a function. Okay, that's up to you. Now you can have one property as a function also. Let's say add. Okay, just write the function here. The name of the function is add, and you can write like this. Okay, and this is a function, and here you can write the logic console.log. 5 plus 4. Just write something, okay? It may not be exactly right, but you can add like this, okay? So, or here if you provide x comma y, then you can say x comma y here, okay? X plus y here, that's also fine. Like that, okay? I just reduce font size so that you can see the entire object. Now, this is an if you see object can contain some variables, functions, and also can contain objects and other things like arrays also you can create inside the object. Many other things are possible. But if you want to, okay, create an object inside an object like nested objects, okay? If you want to create nested objects, then you have to create an object as a property. One of the property of this object is another object, okay? Then that is called as a nested objects. So hope you understood what exactly are the nested objects right now. Let's try to access this properties from this user object. Okay. So let's access this name. How to access the name? Console.log. Okay. You can write user dot name. Okay. This is one way. User dot name, right? You can write user dot name. User is name of the object and this property name. Okay. And if I run this code, clear. And if I run this code, let me drag it here and then node space nested hyphen object dot objects dot js. Sorry, there's a spelling mistake. Let the error come. Let me clear this. Let me write it again. Objects dot js. Right? You see? The property, one of the property of this object's value got printed here, okay? Similarly, if you want to get the experience, what you have to do, console.log, user dot experience, okay? Name experience. And if you want to get the address, console.log, user dot, I can say address also, not a problem, you see? If I run this, you see, entire address also got printed, but object got printed, okay? The entire object which is there in this, when I print this user dot address means this entire nested object got, okay, the child object of this parent object got printed, okay, the entire object got printed. But if you want to print only the street, I don't want the entire object, but if you want to own only the street, then you have to say user dot address dot street, you have to say, okay. You have to say user dot address means entire object, address object will be printed. But if you want only the street inside this address, then you have to say user dot address dot street. I'll remove this stuff or let them be there, okay, not a problem. So here, clear this and just run this again and see that you said JD Metla village, which is a street got printed, which is part of an child object of the parent object. To go here to print this street value, I have to say user dot address. User is object, address is a child object. User dot address dot street. I have to say. You want the building, you know right? What you have to do? User dot address dot building. User dot address dot pin code. User dot address dot city. Like that, you have to individually print. Or there is other way like console.log user dot, okay, user dot, you can say something like this, okay? For example, here, instead of coming here, for example, this experience part is there, right? I want to use a different method for this experience, okay? If I want to get the experience value printed, one way is user dot experience, other way is user dot, instead of user dot, you can write square brackets, inside square brackets, double quotes and or single quotes and write experience, either user dot experience or user square bracket experience, anything is fine. And if I run this, you see that 19 got printed two times, experience got printed two times, this way or this way. So here instead of user dot address dot street, to print this street, I have to go with user dot address dot street. Other way is console.log user square bracket, in that address, inside double quotes, you have to write address square bracket again, inside the double quotes and say street. Okay, this is a way, another way. Run this and see whether it is working. Yes, same GD Mitla village. Okay, either this format. So this is more better. This also sometimes may be useful for you. So you should be okay with that. Okay. So next, you want to get the job. You can, if you want to call this function, all the things you know, right? What you have to do. If you want to call the function, what you have to do? Console.log user dot add. And here I need to pass the arguments 5 comma 4. Like that, you can call the function and this will be printed. Now let's run this. You see, what got printed, guys? 5 plus 4, 9 got printed. 5 plus 4, 9 got printed. But after that, undefined is coming somehow. That's okay. So here is a function, add function we are calling, and we are passing 5 comma 4. That's okay. So like this, we can, okay, we can do this. And if I remove this part and just run this again, not getting undefined. But if I write user dot add, add is a function, and in that function I'm passing 5 and 4. 5 is going here, 4 is going here, console.log express 5. Okay, and run it again. Okay, so this output is coming, right? We'll find out what is the reason why that output is coming. So let me copy this. Let me go here. Let me paste the code. Undefined is printed at the end. Why? Okay. You see, but the function itself doesn't have a return statement, so that's fine. After you, fine, fine. Okay. So here we are calling this, right? So here, when you print user.add, so what we can do here is instead of console dot, we have to remove that console.log guys because there is no return type. Okay, when you call this particular function and function is not returning anything back to the function calling statement, and if you are trying to print something which is written, since nothing is being written, undefined is coming. If you call user.add like this without console.log, then you'll not get the undefined. Okay, that's the answer. That's correct. You see, 9 only it's getting printed. Okay, you don't have to put console.log for calling the function, right? If you put it, it's expecting some returned value from this function. So that's fine. Okay, so like this guys, we can okay. These things are important. User dot experience, user dot address dot street. Okay, those things are important. User dot address dot building, user dot address dot pin code, user dot address dot city. Okay, like that we have to do. And other things that you have to understand here is I'll just write something console dot log and just put this line here for separation. Okay, so that you can differentiate the output properly. Next thing is that I want to use for loop. Okay, what I want to do here, guys, I want to use a for loop to iterate through each and everything of this, or I'll remove this part. I'll remove this part and here clear this. And here what I want to do here is I want to use for of loop for iterating through this nested objects. Okay, if I want to iterate through this external object, inside this object another object is there, but if you want to iterate through the higher level object, you have to do something like this. For let, okay, key, for in or for off, which loop have to use? For in loop or for off loop? Generally we use for in loop, right? We have to use for in loop. Okay. So here we have something, some notes are there for my reference guys. Okay. Let me copy these notes and using the notes, let's work on them. Let's go here. For in loop. We generally use for in loop. Okay. For in loop we have to use with objects. If with arrays we have to use for off loop, but with objects, okay, to enumerate with the keys of the objects and all properties of the objects, we have to use for in loop. Okay. So here I'm going to use for in loop for key in, for key in or for k in, whatever you say, key in user, for key in user or k in user. Okay. Here write down console.log. Okay. Key. If I print this, all the keys will be printed. Name, experience, address, job, add, those will be printed. If I run this, you'll see that name, experience, address, job, add got printed. Okay. All the property key names got printed. Now, if you want to have the values also, what you have to do here is comma, comma, I'll write user of user. Here I should not be using dot guys. Inside the for in loop, we should not be using the dot. You have to use square bracket and inside that right key. That's it. Simple. Okay. Now clear this and run this and see that. You see what got printed here? Name Armory. Experience 19. Address and address value. Job full-time trainer. Add function name. Okay. Everything got printed. Okay. The function got printed. So like this guys. Okay. So no, but here what is happening is, so here what is happening is address is printing as an object. I don't want this address to be printed as an object. Rather, I want street, name around motor, experience 19, street, GD Metla Village, building, Bima Pride, pin code. Okay, I don't want, this kind of stuff. Okay, I want in a different way. So for that, I have to use this nested for in loop kind of thing. Okay, so I'll just do something. You'll understand. Okay, so there is one logic here that we have to follow to get these things done. If you want to loop through the nested objects, how to do it? Okay, what is the simplest way? If you want to loop through the nested objects, okay, that is gone here. Okay, I thought it's there. Fine. Simplest simplest way to loop through the nested objects. Okay, let's write this and you'll get the solution here. No. Yeah, here, this is the logic. Okay, this is the logic we have to write. Okay, this is the kind of logic this part I'm going to use, not the entire thing. So what I'm going to do here is I want to loop through the nested object. So here, I'll write like this for let key in user and here I'll write down, can you provide only one solution? I know that this is a logic. I know that we have to use type of operator here to get the things done. Can you provide only one solution to use for for in loop to iterate through nested objects. Okay, let's wait here and see what is happening here. This one, there is one way. Uh, I want the way with the type of operator. Okay, type of operator is the easiest way, guys. Okay, that's the reason. But it's still writing some other way, guys. Okay. Let me do one thing. Just give me a second. Let me do one thing. Did I miss anywhere? Yeah, this is the logic I wanted. Okay. Simple for in loop with the type check. Okay. Copy this and let me post this here. Okay. So let me post this here. Okay. So that we can have in the single. I think I have done that at a different thing. Okay. So this is the logic is. This is the logic we have to use for let key in person. If type of person of key is equal to object and person of key is not equal to null, then write the for, you see, nested for in loop. Okay, what I am saying is nested for in loop. For that we need to write the if condition and we have to write like this. Okay, so if you want to iterate through the, okay, if you don't want to iterate through the entire thing, okay, you want to iterate through the nested one. Okay, this properties of this nested object, the child object in the nested objects you want to iterate. In that case, that logic we have to follow. Okay, so how to do that? For let that be there. That's okay. If I'll write like this, if type of key, type of key. What is the type of the key? Here name is a key. Okay, is equal to the type of the key. Okay, type of the key, that is a type of we have to write like this, type of person, not user here, user of key. Okay, type of user of key means what? Type of this one. Okay, so if type of user of key, what is this user of key? User of key is this one. Okay, user of key is this one. Okay, so either this one, user of key, first user of key is the first iteration. Key is what? Key is name. Okay, here user of key means what? User of key means, user of key is this value. What is the type of this value? Okay, that's what we are checking. Then we have to write triple equal to, if it is an object. Okay, we need to find out whether it is an object or string. In this first case, the user of key is nothing but a string, right? But if I say triple equal to, okay, triple equal to, if it is an object, if it is an object, okay, if it is an object and At same time, okay, at the same time, one more condition, double ampersand, type of user of key, okay, is, it should not be null. It should not be null, okay? It should not be null. It should be something, okay? Should be something. Is not equal to null like this, okay? Is not equal to null like that. We have to write one more thing, not equal to null. Then iterate through this, write this if condition, and here write for let. In that case only you have to do this, okay? For let key in user dot add user of key, okay? For let key in user of key, okay? For let key in user of key means in this, what is the key? Street, building, pin code, city, okay? For let key in user of key, write console.log, write down key comma, here what I have to write, guys, for let key in user of key. I think that's what I meant. Okay, user of key. Then we have to write key, nested key. Okay. So here I'll write a different name. Here already key is there, right? I'll just give something. Okay. Here nested key I'll say. Okay. So key dot, then here I'll write key square bracket. Sorry. Here I'll write key comma, user square bracket. Okay. Then key square bracket, nested key, okay, like this, okay. Here I should not be keep putting the same key here, okay. This is nested key, okay. So then user of key, nested key, okay. Three items should be there, then it will be okay. Here nested key, I'll write nested key here. This is a nested key. Instead of key I have to write nested key, and user of key of nested key, okay. Like this we have to write. So clear this and run this to see what is happening. Okay, let me write here and press enter, and you see name Arun Motor experience 19. Address also got printed. Along with it, all the properties of this address, street, building, pin code, city Hyderabad, and then remaining properties. Okay. So if you have a nested object and if you have to write this for in loop to iterate, this is the logic you have to write, guys. This is the logic you have to write. Okay. So this is the logic you have to write, and you have to verify whether that user.key is again an object. If that user.key is an object, this particular thing is an object, then again go here and it's not null, then go here and iterate through the properties of that child object of the nested objects. Okay. So hope guys you got some idea how to iterate using the for in loops, nested for in loops using the nested objects. Okay. So the more you practice, the more better you will become with these objects and nested objects, guys. And hope you understood how to access individual properties also without using loops and with using loops also. Hope you understood. So guys, that's all for this session. See you in the next session. Thank you. Bye bye.